Everybody wants to find the perfect match for their financial needs. Secured savings, stress-free access to affordable loans, instant mobile money transfers to MTN and Orange Cameroon, and even a share in the profits as a member owner. For over 7 years, Rencam Credit Union has been the perfect match for Cameroonians living in the UK and other nationals with interest in the Cameroonian heritage. Visit rencam.co.uk. Join Rencam Credit Union today, achieving success together. Hi, oops. Hi guys. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Goretti Show. Hello, let me know in the comments if you're here. Hi For Real, hi Sha. Thank you guys so much for joining as usual. Hi Auntie Jackie, hi. Thank you for joining, and thank you for joining via YouTube. And Sha, can you go join us via YouTube, please? But thank you guys. So I'm really happy that you're here with us today. I've really been looking forward to this episode tonight because I'm talking to a very, very dear friend of mine, my friend of over 30 years. So you can imagine the relationship we have. We are sisters. We are not even friends at this point. We are sisters, and I'm so grateful that she has agreed to come and share her story with us. Hi, Maggie. Can you join us via YouTube, please? Thank you so much. Yeah, so we're really happy. For those of you who know our guest of tonight, I'm just going to put her name up. Fadimatou, you know who I am, whom she is, rather. And so I'm really, really excited to have her here tonight. But before I even bring her on stage, I just really wanted us also to think about, to extend my condolences to the family of the young lady who was allegedly killed in the US, Laura Danielle Vondo. And I really wanted us to talk a bit about it because gender-based violence seems to be growing. I mean, it may have existed, but it's growing. So if you're new to the show, please, it's a very interactive show. Any part of the conversation that we're having, just if you've got any input, any comments, anything to say about it, let your voice be heard in the comments and we'll bring it to the front. But before I even bring Fadi to the show, I just want to share this video with you so you know the caliber of the young woman who is coming to join us today. And that's Fadi. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my friend to the stream. Hi, Fadi. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Goretti.
Hello. I'm so happy you're here, Fadi. Good evening. You have Ismael, Mimi, Maggie, and Jacqueline. For the friend of I'm sure there's so many of us watching right now. So welcome to the Goretti Show.
Thank you very much.
So how are you feeling? By the way, Fadi's joining us from Douala, Cameroon. So let's prayer warriors. We have to pray right now for the internet connection.
Yeah, first of all, I will want to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity because your tele viewers should understand that I'm on the show because my story, I wanted to share it on your show because it's been 30 years of friendship, which means that when we met for the first time in 1991 when we started school in Our Lady Seat of Wisdom College, and I will seize the opportunity to greet our batch, the famous batch, the 26th batch of Our Lady Seat of Wisdom College. because each and every one will relate to my story. And it's true that before we could meet, no one knew where we came from, our backgrounds. And 30 years
Each and
after,
everyone
we
will relate to my
definitely
story.
we definitely have a lot to share because it's been three decades, I can say. So it's a great pleasure to be part of your show, and I'm proud of your show. And I want to encourage each and everyone to ensure that they support your show because, as we say, there is always a woman who is inspired by another woman. So I hope that you're gonna be our Oprah. Yes, so the Goreti show definitely has to have mentorship, and I am sure that you will do extremely well. And thank you again for having me with you.
Fadi, honestly, see, it's my honor because, guys, let me tell you, this young lady dines with presidents, and I see her on YouTube on high level UN meetings, high level this kind of meetings. So for you to grace my platform today, Fadi, honestly, you have done me well. So thank you. So let's move on. I mean, this story of this Laura Daniel Voda. If you haven't heard it, it's on this page. So if you're watching from YouTube, just watch. It's on the show. It's on the page. You can watch the snippets of the story on that. That was allegedly killed by her husband. I mean, what's your take on this story?
First of all, I will, if you permit me, I will ask each and everyone to have a minute of silence for all the women that lose their lives with regards to domestic violence.
Hmm.
If we can have 1 second of silence in memory of all these women. Yeah. With time constraint, I would want to dive directly into the subject because it's very painful and may her soul rest in peace. But unfortunately, a lot of women are into different kinds of violences in relationships, and unfortunately, don't have the courage, the drive, or think that they don't have the moral support to step out of these relationships. And at the end, it ends up like the one of Laura. So Laura's case is not an isolated case. It's a day to day. Just as we are speaking, women are suffering. And as we say, we are not just standing out for women. Relationships worldwide are suffering. It's my belief that if we take into statistics the fact that we have a lifespan that's limited and that we don't know when we're going to quit this world, people should reflect more on what they want into relationships and try as much as possible to step out of what tradition has always put as the norms, because the societal norms, especially in Africa, is the belief that you can only be happy if you grow up and get married and have kids. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, you and I know our parents took from our grandparents, who took from our great grandparents, to hide a lot of things that actually, if they were shared, we will become better men and women and understand that we are not obliged to be together. We should be together because we want to build something positive. But the tendency is very often we get under the pressure of tradition, customs.
Yeah.
We find people who meet love, like real love, and they can't be with their real love because of backgrounds, religion, tradition. So at the end of the day, because everyone wants to fit in society, we find situations where someone is married with someone, shares the
Mhm.
same roof with someone, but
Mhm.
is victim of physical violence, verbal violence, you all sorts of violences.
Yeah.
And this on your platform, it gives an opportunity since you started to have people really speak out what we don't have. People say it's like a taboo, but today I think that the more we raise awareness on even what is the importance of a relationship, people would reflect and think and stand up for themselves. Because
Yeah.
um, today we see, when we were younger, we didn't see young people die, but as time goes on, when I see my kids having classmates dying at that young age, or us having friends dying, we lost our own classmates some years ago, Gabriel de Bombechem, may he so rest in peace. It still strikes me. I'm still like, wow, we don't know when we're going to leave.
We
So
also
we
lost
definitely,
Clarence. We lost Clarence.
oh, yeah, perfect,
Clarence.
Clarence. Ah, yes.
Clarence. Yeah.
So we started 30 years ago, and in 30 years, we have lost two classmates.
Yeah.
So if I take these two examples of Perfect Clarence and Gabriel de Bombechem,
Mhm.
no one predicted the way they were supposed to live.
Yeah. Oh, Douala. Yeah, like I said, Fadi is joining us from Douala, so I hope that the internet is not going to be too much of a problem, but it hasn't been, so I hope it's going to pick up. So yeah, so I mean, let me guys. I'm sure most of us have read about this Laura's case. I just wanted to know, like Fadi is saying, it's not new and it's not an isolated case. What are your opinions? How does this affect you? How does this make you? How do we help? I think that's the question I want to know. How do we help? How do you think that we can help? Yes, we have my platform. Fadi is back. Hi. We have my
Hi.
the community show. If you want to share, if you've been through something like this and you want to share, please don't be a stranger. We are here to talk about those issues that are not normally talked about in our communities. But how do we help? And Fadi, sorry, you got interrupted.
Yeah, actually, these forms of violences are of different nature. I will talk about myself, right? Because today I am the guest at your show, which is a privilege. And what many people don't know is I was born from a family that came from poor regions. My dad, it took you time to know exactly who I was because
Yeah.
as a kid, my dad is from the extreme north of Cameroon and my mom is from the west. And back then, when I was born, they were not married, but these two tribes were not meant to be together.
Oh yeah.
So I was born, and you can imagine you are in a family where the norm is for the girl to go to school, finish with her school, get married, proper dowry and everything. And what my mother had was me.
Hmm.
So as everyone said, they said, "Oh, who is this black girl?" Because my mom, she's fair skin like
She's
you.
she's
So
like this face.
yeah, so from childhood, I was noticed by everyone because it was the contrast. Everyone was like, who is that child? Why is she so black?
Hmm.
And so for a child, my memories go back to when I was 6 years old. I knew I was undesired. So and at times I will see my mom in pain, and she will like shout at me for no good reason. And I was like, today as a mom, I can relate, but I have decided to change the norm,
Yeah.
because our parents don't talk. They don't talk about their challenges. They find themselves in a society that blames and judges them. No one takes the pain to be attentive. You
Yeah.
know, uh, it's very funny to see that we get a lot of compassion when we are in sorrow, but
Yeah.
people are not aware. We are not in an environment that can feel and relate that someone is not okay. We turn to live in a
Fadi,
competitive
I don't
environment.
know. I don't know if I would say that. I feel like instead we are raised not to share our problems, and if you are somebody who shares your problems, you're instead regarded as weak and not a woman enough. I think that's it. I really don't, in my experience anyway. If you when you share your problems, and a woman who shares her problems, I feel women will tend to talk about their problems when it's like it's here, they've reached their backs are against the wall. But if you talk about it, it's not very welcomed. That's my experience.
No, but that's why I say it's part of the tradition, because when you see from our grandparents, they didn't speak to our parents, so our parents don't speak to us. But it's for us now to be able to change and talk to our kids.
Hmm.
I have a 17-year-old daughter, and I must admit that all what my parents didn't tell me. I mean, from how society works, from
Yeah.
how because the best school is at home, and
Yeah.
it's from the experience. So you're better placed as a person to sit down as a parent, or to sit down and talk about everything. There are a lot of things today that I still don't know. So I keep on asking. It's my greatest belief because our parents lied a lot about the way they manage their relationships.
Oh
You
yes.
know, when we saw parents in a home, they were always nice, smiling, and then when
But
you
then,
grow up,
but
you're
then,
dreaming.
but then, Fadi, they say that
Yeah.
don't include it. Don't get the children involved in your issues between between spouses. That's the advice that we're given.
Yeah, but it should be important to explain when you are in very good terms. A couple, as I initially said, a relationship is not a fighting ground. No, when you decide to be with someone, you definitely have to have concessions every morning. It's for
Mm-hmm.
you to have the same goal you need to attain. And every day as you wake up is to look your half and say, honey or sweetie, how you call it, what's the next step? Because the tendency is the impact of the family or our system make us not live the life we are supposed to live. And I advise people, I'm divorced today. This is 14 years I got divorced, not because I had the worst husband, but the context around my relationship, for me coming from a single parent home, wasn't appropriate for me to raise my kid in that kind of a situation. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to lie to my kid in an environment where I would have sacrificed my own happiness and my own joy and my own life in the name of marriage. And this is because, as I say, I was born in an environment where the norms were not respected. So this has given me that internal strength to know that I'm the outcast, but I can be the role model. So today, for those who might think my story can inspire them, is to say, you come up from a negative situation and you try as much as possible to ensure that by the time you leave this world, you are actually somebody's inspiration.
And
So, and it, yes,
so sorry to interrupt you, but I think I'm going to break it because you keep saying you come from a situation that was not the norm. But let if do you mind if I call it a spade, call a spade a spade? So you
call a
came
spade a spade.
so you came from a single parent home, and like you said, your mom looks completely different from you anyway in terms of complexion, because I feel like you look like your mom. But like,
Yeah.
although you look like Colonel as well, but it's but like I'm saying, you came from that situation where yes, you were a child that wasn't wanted, but and you said at 6 years old you realized that you were undesired. 6 years old, Fadi. It
I
makes a
still
lot
have
of
I still I have my memories of my 6 years old.
but
When I was a kid, I had
mhm.
aunts who will always ask, but who is this? And I had some other aunts who will not chew their words to say, is the bastard Margaret brought home.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yes, this is how cruel adults can be. And because I found myself undesired, I had that feeling. Everyone always looked at me like the outcast. And I had my poor mom that for me, I decided, I always try to be there for her, like to
Yeah,
protect her, to do
yeah,
things. I mean, to always please her.
yeah,
And the more I try to do that, I mean, you know me, we met in 1991. I think I
yeah,
was one of a type in class.
yeah.
I was a child my mom raised.
It makes sense why you fought so much, why you were always fighting. It makes a lot
Yes,
of sense because you're trying to find your place.
yes, because no one, as a kid, society looks at you different. The first difference I felt was when I went to give my documents for my first school living certificate, and my dad's name was not on it. But
Hmm.
I know my dad. I mean my dad when I want, and so people were like, "But you don't have your dad's name in here," and I was like, "Oh yes, but it's because I'm different." And when I came to school, to the boarding school, and I have a very funny life because I come from French parents, and
Yeah,
my mom got this inspiration where she said, if you don't speak English in the future, she was a visionary. She is a visionary because my
hmm,
mom, I mean, she's my own hero. I always tell her, even though she doesn't believe, I say, you are a visionary. My mom, French speaking, said, if you don't speak English in the future, you won't have your space in the world. So this
yeah,
is a woman that was rejected by society, that was rejected by her own family because it was believed that she had broken the norms.
yeah,
And I want to believe that I was her hope because the link she had in having me in her womb built the hope that had to take her forward. She decided, I won't give back. I won't be a victim of society or my family because family can be very cruel.
yeah.
Very often, I think your first enemy is your family. People just think about reputation, what will others think about, and
My
then when
Adi,
you die,
sorry,
yes.
I'm just going to interrupt you. Keep that thought. I hope my family is listening. All those who call me big nose, you people are very cruel to me, and they still call me big nose in my family, guys. Can you imagine? Go on.
you know so when you look the contrast, because today what I love is the interaction we have with the modern world, with the European world or the US. When you get there, I want to tell people, don't copy just the way people dress, copy the
Mhm.
way they live. You will see a child of 10 saying, I don't want to go to school anymore. And the whole family will sit and say, oh, what do you want to do? And everyone will like move on. But here, if you try after having your advanced level to say, I want to do hairdressing in a more modern way, the family is number one to say, oh, did you hear about that? That's the
Mhm.
failure in the family. And so if we try to change the tendency and accept that we stand as a family and we have to support one another, from your family to your own home, you will only be the reflection of what you've been into. And with that impact, you can change your environment. So, coming back to my own situation, society wasn't. So, I looked at this mom and I was like, I have to make her happy. I have to be the source of her joy because I was aware that I was the cause of her sadness with regards to her family, which is normal. When you look at tradition in Africa, people say, oh, ideal woman, you have to. And these are the things that actually kill people. These are the things that bring women like Laura Mvondo to lose their lives. Because
Mhm.
I'm sure that people in her family were aware of the situation she was going through. But you also have friends who play some key roles where what you call jealousy, and people just believe they have to compete. No. I remember when I was 15 years old, my dad told me something that I consider my heritage. I live a situation where someone came to ask for help from him. And he offered his help without thinking. And after offering his help, he like said, but excuse me, why did you leave all the offices in this ministry to my own office?
Mhm.
And this guy looked at him and said, you don't remember me. Some years back, I needed a job, and you offered me the opportunity to have this job.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I was sent to Bakassi and had an accident because he was in the military hospital. And while there, I have lost my wife. Nobody can have the heart you have. That's why I have left my hospital bed and crossed all the other offices into your office.
Mhm.
I was there. And he told him, okay, my condolences. This is all I can do for you. I hope it will help. And when this guy went out, my dad told me, he said, you see, people think I have a lot of money, but my wealth are people.
Mhm.
You can have all the money you have in your bank, but if you don't have the people,
Mhm.
and when I mean the people, everybody with no differentiation on social status, life, and I don't know why it came like a light to me. And I mean, people who know me know me. I just as I can sit with the head of state, I still have
Just
my
as
friends who
just
said
as
and
you're
Matthew.
here sitting with Macron
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. I was
Sarkozy.
invited at l'Elysee. That's me at in Korea.
Yeah.
Just as I find myself, I have a complete life today. Just as I find myself at l'Elysee in France or in Senegal, or I talk to the president of Chad, like recently when I went with a delegation or with
Yeah.
President Buhari, you will still find me looking for my okrika and mashi kululu
Oh
the day
yes.
I want to go. You
Yeah.
know, and this makes my strength. I have no complex. I don't care what people say. I just try to live my life on earth and make it happy and help as much as I can. When I founded the Young African Aviation Professional Association in 2014, it came in from our own experience, and you will relate, and our classmates here or schoolmates will relate. Because Seed of Wisdom College is our alma mater. That is my foundation after GBPS Champ, when we were in Fontaine, you remember I was very good at sciences. I wanted to be a medical doctor, and I was seeing myself in the hospital with kids. This is me. And I said, when I found what aviation was all about, and I discovered out of my curiosity that Africa was the sole continent where everything had to be done, I said we have a lot of young people who leave the continent to go abroad because they believe that everything is out of the continent.
Mhm.
I said, but this is an industry where we don't know about it. I mean, in Fontem, how will you even dream about an airport or an aircraft to even think about what goes into it? So I took my own experience again to create this non-profit organization to create a platform across Africa because I've had the privilege to visit the 5 regions of Africa and
Mhm.
see that we are a rich continent. When
Yeah.
you go to South Africa, Rwanda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Egypt, Morocco, I tell people you always say you are falling bush and
Yeah.
you leave Africa. We have everything. So this is to say that my experiences, be it good or bad, has been what has been giving me my balance. And there
Yeah.
has not been any magic on being hardworking, honest to myself first, and honest to the people around me. Because people
Mhm.
just try to be fake, you know. If your family does not support you in your issue, avoid
Mhm.
them. Go to the people who support you.
Yes.
I have a global family. I have moms who are white, who are from Asia. I mean, it's just how you relate with the people who bring out the positiveness in you.
Yeah.
And this is what has been keeping me the person I am today. Because I haven't focused on seeing that I was the bastard that some called me when I was young,
Yeah.
or later on the divorcee when I divorced
Yeah.
because I wasn't comfortable in the environment. But you should note one thing: I don't fight with my family. I don't fight with my ex-husband. No. It's just that I did not see it as my life path and took the
Yeah.
courage to step out without fighting.
Yeah.
I recently lost my daughter's grandfather who took me as his daughter, and people were surprised to see me there. And you still have this big mouth saying, Anna still married, you define them. No, you have one life and you choose to live your life the way it has to make you a better person.
Yeah. Fadi, I mean, you've said a lot, but I'm going to bring you back. And there's so many comments, guys.
Okay.
Everybody's, you're my kind of girl. You are a lioness. Fadi, the go getter. Nice one, Fadi. Hey, George. Hi, that's Papa George. Fadi,
Hey, George.
there's so many.
George, you
Hi,
know about it.
so proud of you. Mommy is here. Fadi is so generous and kind. God bless you, my daughter. I know,
Thank you,
Fadi,
mommy.
those of us who are privileged to be in your inner circle, right?
Yes,
I marvel at the kind of girl you are, really. Because see, if I was you, okay, oh,
yes,
you know that I am you. You know what I mean? I'm humble. If you come from Cedar, so you must be humble. But because we are raised in humility. So when you get that foundation of humility, but quand même, ils sauront que je connais les gens. They would know that I know a few people somewhere. But
yeah.
this and I'm going to take you back a few years to between your teenage years, because I really want people to understand how you are self-made,
Mm,
because I know that from a very young child, not like in from one, from two, you really played the role of mother to your mother and your sister. That's who you are. And you fought stigma, you fought stigma, you've literally fought your way through life. I remember in UB, one way in UB, and I really want to talk about that because you came back a few times to UB. You remember, to until
yes.
you found what you wanted to do. Talk me through that process, because there could be a young person watching right now who who did not complete university, or a young person who did not complete university and is thinking it's probably too late. Talk me through that process of why you did UB a few more times until you finally graduated.
Yeah, actually, as I told you, my dream was, well, you all know my dream was to be a medical doctor. And I would tell people, when you're determined and you're focused, you will always succeed. So in Seed of Wisdom, I had one thing that my classmates didn't know. They were quite young to try to relate to what my real story was. And I had my mom and my younger sister. We have 8 years difference. So my sister was like my daughter. And my mom very often was sick, So I was always with this stress of saying I have to come back with very good results so that I can cheer up my mom. And each
Yeah,
time we went on vacation, I had an obligation to, first of all, like, do everything to make sure that my mom has everything correct,
yeah,
and then go to Yaoundé so that I could see my dad and then come back. And with this in line, it was a routine. And I never had failure. Failure for me was not to be accepted.
yeah.
And I remember when I had the
But
first challenge.
why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Was it your own way to prove your worthiness?
No, this was my own reward to my mom. I
Okay.
Everything around me was to show to my mom that even though society was telling her I was the worst thing that could have happened to her, everything that I did was to as an appreciation for my mom. I just wanted my mom to understand that I was the best thing that could ever happen to her, and that she had a reason to continue with her fight and her struggle. So that's basically what has been around me, like to show to my mom that even if, because the impact of society and societal roles, for my mom not to have been married, for my mom to have had a kid without being married and the rest, these are things
And
that
with an
make.
Hausa man that back then was
Yes,
that like
yes. Can you imagine? So
Hausa.
Christian with the Hausa man, and then not any kind of Hausa man. My dad has marks on his face, so you can imagine all what I went through. So
Yeah.
I had to secure my parents. I have never ever judged both of my parents because I believe that if God decided that I was to be born, then I had to have an impact on earth. And
Mm-hmm.
thank God today, even if I die, I have a kid, my legacy will move on. So this took me through the part of saying, I have to make sure that I get my studies. But unfortunately, my first challenge was Seed of Wisdom. When we all had our GCE and we knew we would be the first batch of first school living certificate,
Yeah.
Seed of Wisdom wasn't granted high school.
Yeah.
So I had
I
to
know.
search.
I mean,
I
completely
was in
changed
a
my life.
yeah, I was in a
Yeah.
situation where I have to go back home because Seed of Wisdom is my second home. Or
Yeah.
what? Well, it's my second home because when I see all the students, the ex-students, I always relate. It's always a pleasure to meet a senior or a junior, just Seed of Wisdom.
Yeah.
That's the mother we had. And Miss Jane, may her soul rest in peace, was our real mother, Miss Clelia, Mr. Nelson, Demi, and all the rest. Though Eric, with
Yeah.
whom I'm still talking, I hope he's seeing us because that's someone that I keep dear to my heart, and his story inspires me. And every time I think I'm inspiring people, he inspired me most. So after that, I went to Nyasoso. Can you imagine? I got to know about Nyasoso, and the next day I was in a bus to DHS Nyasoso. So I had to go for school. For my mom, I had to go to school. When I had my GC advanced level, I did Qs. And for the first time in my life, the brilliant student I thought I was failed Qs twice at the orals.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can I succeed theory and then fail orals when I can speak fluent French?
Yeah.
Then I went to UB not to spend time at home and registered for life sciences. You remember in Cameroon when you were doing sciences, all you had was to become physics teacher, maths teacher, and so
If
I
you
was
couldn't
like,
be a doctor.
this if you couldn't be a doctor. So
Yeah.
and we didn't even know much about polytechnic like today. So I decided I couldn't do this. So after 2 years, I remember discovering that in UB you had social sciences, you had other departments. So I walked up to economics to social management. I met late Dr. Carl Wunde, and he had just returned from Nigeria. He was the dean of the faculty. And he gave me all the light and said, listen, your orientation, you could take economics, then you could change to. So with his orientation, I came back and registered as a fresh start in 2000.
Yeah.
What this is something people should understand. You don't rush in life. The orientation we get from family, you need to look within yourself and think, what is my vocation? What do I want to do? What will I be comfortable in? I know you've always loved to do PR. You were a social lady. You will even
Yeah.
dance on stage. These are things you will never see me do, right?
Mm-mm.
And today, when you do your show, this is you. You can relate
Yeah.
because you will not need to look for extra strength to do what you're doing. And this
That's
is what I
why
tell people.
that's why when after being a science student never sat with me. After when I went to UB and was doing what so environmental science, I was like, there is no this I can't do this to myself. Like, nah, I'm not doing. That's it. I like. It took me many years, but I'm so glad that I was able to find what I am born to do. Yeah.
So this now made me realize, oh, while in Fontem or being with my family all this while, I did not even know how someone could become an economist or marketing. And I went into economics. 2 years after that, I was lucky to get married. And shortly after, I got pregnant. I came back pregnant and did my third year with my baby. So
Mm-hmm.
pregnant, we used to call her the UB baby. And I was like, okay, I need to finish school, but I had the privilege, and this was an eye opener. When I came back into my first year in economics, I had the privilege to have an internship in Ernst and Young, which was one of the big four firms.
Yeah. I
That
remember.
was 2000 and 2001. And I saw the professional world. And I
Yeah.
said, if I really want, because I wanted to build a family, I
Yeah.
wanted to give to my children what I didn't have.
Yeah.
So I said, if this is how after graduating you will come and be busy at work, then I better do my children when I'm in school. Then I will be sure that by the time I finish with graduation, I will now have my kids and I will work and take care of my kids. So this
Yeah.
is the young girl mentality, right? But which
No,
also comes
no.
out, no,
Fadi,
which comes out.
do you know what? When I look back at my circle, we were never thinking that far. And I think, I mean, credit to you. You have to take the credit. You've always been someone who is strategic about the things that she does. A lot of us at
Yes.
your age, we were just going to, after high school, we knew it was UB. After UB, look for a job. Like there was no plan. You understand? But from the time I knew you in form, like from Form 5, when we're talking post GCE, you kind of had an idea where you wanted to go. So take that credit, yeah, because not all of us
Thank
are
you.
like
Yeah, but because I had more responsibility than all of you. I mean, you all
that.
didn't know that, but I had a
I knew,
responsibility.
Fadi, come on, I knew.
Oh no, you knew, Ebenyemoto knew.
Yeah, yeah,
Norbert, I think, knew a
not
little
that
bit.
kind of New Year.
Yes, I'm Gunke. So, but but I didn't. It was my life, and I had to like have this balance. And as I see, tell you, everything was driven around my mom. You
Yeah.
know, I wanted my mom because believe you me, my mom has been my inspiration onto building my own life because all what she's been victim of, I decided I will not be a victim and I will speak out
Speak out.
openly to let people not be victims of their own families or friends or environment and to quit any negative environment that you are in today. I ask you to quit. I used to tell people honestly, I say family relationship is not an obligation. So
Mm-mm.
if you are my family member, you have to be a good person and positive person. We need to laugh and be cheerful because life independently is already so stressful. And nobody told us that when we were younger, going into the adult life, that today I don't see why I should be communicating permanently with someone who will always try to bring me down. We have to sharpen ourselves and move up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you reach out for your program, I mean, I've been so busy around that
Yeah,
we
you
had to
have
do
to.
this show. And I
Yeah.
said, we have to do it. We definitely have to do it because I have to support your initiative. And you can always count on me. And everyone around me who knows me knows that once you're positive, I have my hands open. If I know a head of state and tomorrow I'm going next to a head of state and you want to be, because now I've
Oh,
created my own initiatives I'll talk
yeah.
about later on, is just to say that you have to be positive. And I personally think I'm strict to myself, I'm strict to the people around me, but it's just to have some discipline because we don't know when we're going to quit. I can
Mm-mm.
talk to you now and the next minute they tell you, oh, by the way, Fadi is normal. And people live as if they have time
Time.
in their hands. And coming back to UB, when I had my baby, I took a year off to take care of my baby. And after that, everyone was like, but you're not rushing. And I'm like, I have been working, so I have an experience on how work is. And
Mm-hmm.
when I had my baby, I went into micro entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
I will get clothes in Douala and sell
Mm-hmm.
in Yaoundé. I
Mm-hmm.
had my little guy, they were just starting call box, who would do my call box. I had
I
no
remember.
complex. I had no complex of saying I live in a big house, I have a driver.
Mm-hmm.
That has never been my complex. I was like, the little you can produce, the 100 francs that you can do, you do it. There is
Mm-hmm.
no small business. And that's how I came back to UB in 2015. But unfortunately, I still had some courses and the strike started.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went back. Now, I had been working on getting my bachelor's degree and I got my job with Huawei. And as I say, the experiences that I had when I was working, which was mostly volunteering, you learn when you volunteer. But the tendency today is people just want, how much should they pay?
Mm-hmm.
How much? So, what I have been learning on volunteering, and I still volunteer today in some
Mm-hmm.
activities, it brings me more value. I don't gossip. People who know me know I don't gossip.
Mm-hmm.
They think that I'm rude just because I speak out things directly. And why do I speak out things directly? No one is perfect. I'm not perfect. But if we can talk face to face on one, it avoids generating useless environments that will just make you have some issues with people that you don't need to have.
Mm.
Everybody in my life that I have met has to have a good relationship with me. For those who don't like me, I respect your view. You are not obliged to like me. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, life has a lot of circles. You never know where you're going to meet someone. And
Yeah.
everyone that has ever met me in my life is my wealth. I mean, the people, as I said, my dad told me, your wealth are the people you know.
Yeah.
So coming back to school, I started engaging, doing, I always have a small business that I would do. Unfortunately, people don't have the same view. You remember some years back, Anu, when I was working in Kenya, I always came back with bags or
Back.
shoes or something.
Mm-hmm.
I will always have something to do. And now, when I decided to become a single parent, my own becoming a single parent was different from my initial case. It was a decision that I came to an agreement with my
Mm-hmm.
husband. I can't be in here, but we don't need to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And God knows we don't fight. And
Mm-hmm.
we have a lovely daughter who just started university in Canada, and we
Mm-hmm.
have a good relationship. And as I say,
Mm-hmm.
if we find that we are on a different path, if we're on parallel lines, we are not obliged to talk topics that will make us quarrel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time to quarrel with someone. If I realize that one, two, three times we couldn't pull, I don't hate you. I just put you in the lots of people that I meet on the road with whom I don't have an issue, but that I don't say good morning, without having any enmity in me. Simply because life has shown me a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
have lost people of all ages. I have met people, we just lost the minister of the Prime Minister of Cote d'Ivoire. A year ago, I was having a handshake with him in Cote d'Ivoire. For me,
Mm-hmm.
he was an inspiration. His Excellency Ahmed Bakayoko. And I
Mm-hmm.
got sad to see him die just like that. So when you see, I love Michael Jackson. So when you see Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, who had all the celebrity they had, all the money they had, Bob Marley, and who died? Who am I
And your
not to die
and your
tomorrow?
and your and your friend, what's his name again, Manu?
Manu, Papi Manu, that was
Mm-hmm.
that was my granddad.
Mm-hmm.
Died. Who am I? Nobody even knows me.
Oh, and
So
that's
I don't.
mom. Sorry, that's your mother on the
Yeah,
left.
that's
That's
yes.
that's
Always
her
with my
mom.
mom. So you can relate that. At
Yeah.
least I have succeeded to give her that smile. And
Yeah.
I still tell her, I succeeded to give the support to my own sister, who today is a director, a regional director in a bank in
Yeah.
Africa. So this is just to say that what I have understood, the strength I had to build from within has been from my own history.
Yeah.
I don't have to compare with anyone. Just from my own story, I get the strength that takes me to do whatever I am doing. And I don't forget where I come from. That's where my humility side comes.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, I don't go on the rules of society to prove. I don't have to prove to anybody that I know someone, that I have money, that I don't have that. The day I want to work on food, I work on food. If I decide to take my bike to go somewhere, I go and take my bike. So those who are listening, if tomorrow you see me in Mashen Kululun bargaining my back, don't be surprised. This is me.
This
And
is
the
her.
next morning, if you see me in a 2D, don't be surprised. Oh, it is still me. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't change who I am. And
Mm-hmm.
this is to show people that you alone, if you are determined and focus about the sense you want to give to your life, only be in positive environments, even if it means being alone. Anu can tell you, share Anu. I was capable of not talking to everybody in my class,
Yeah.
and I would just be fine, and I would still be among the first people in class.
Yeah.
This is to make you understand that first you need to know what you want for your life, what you want for your, because each and every one of us has a story. Life is not easy. It's not.
No.
If you go in for your own family, you will find that, as I said, your number one enemies are your family members.
Mm-hmm.
If you have few in your family, just identify the few who always try to like bring you down, avoid them, because they will stop you from progressing. But when you will progress, they will come and ask you to help them without wanting you to teach them how to progress so that you all progress together, and they will still go behind and blackmail you. So you choose them. Stay with positive people. It doesn't have to be your blood sister, your blood brother. No. Today, I can call Anu's mom anytime. I can call her sister King as I want. King and I even talk more than Anu,
Mm-hmm.
because King and Rosemary are my sisters more than Anu.
Yeah.
This
True.
is to give an example to say that you associate and move forward and support each other.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'll be proud to come back and sit and tell Anu, oh, that our story of 30 years ago. Here we are, 40 years. this is how far I have gone.
Yeah.
So this is something that I have always wanted. Those who know me personally know I hardly spoke about. Some people used to ask me if I have a dad. Yes, I have a dad.
Should I put his picture? Because I have the colonel's picture.
Of course, I mean, it's my father. I didn't ask to be born, so that's my dad. And I'm proud of my dad. And as I
Yeah.
say, society makes us victims. I didn't ask to be born. I was born in a situation. My daughter didn't ask to be born. She was born in a situation. But I tried, no matter how hard it is, to ensure that we get a balance of life. There will always be problems, but learn to quit conflicting situations before it's too late. And there is no conflicting situation. I have an inspiration from a country, and there is someone I personally keep dear to my heart, President Kagame, that I've had the opportunity and privilege to meet twice and have a handshake with him. This is someone who has succeeded to unite people who kill themselves with machetes. You know,
Yeah.
the genocide is not a funny story.
Mm.
You need to go to Rwanda and visit the memorial. It's not a funny story. But when you go to Rwanda
Mm-hmm.
and imagine that on every piece of land you put your step, there was a bloodshed. You see the strength that human beings can have on forgiveness. If these
Mm-hmm.
people could butcher themselves and go in for reconciliation, who are you with your wife in your house, not capable of forgiving and using the small time God has given you to enjoy and laugh? Who are you to say, hey, I have my sister, my brother, we have problems, I will not talk? No.
Mm-hmm.
So please, the Rwandan people are an example that each and everyone should relate to in whatever situation you are.
Mm-hmm.
Be it in your family, be it in your relationship, be it even at your job site. You have some people who don't like you. As I
Mm-hmm.
still say, those who don't like me, I respect your view. It's you.
Yeah.
Just as those that I don't like, they should respect my view. I just avoid them.
Yeah.
But if they need my help, I will help. If
Yeah.
we learn to be honest about life, I
That's
think we will start to progress and be happier.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, why should a man kill a wife? Why should a child who did not ask to be born be called a bastard? Why should someone who fails be mocked at when life is a succession of ups and downs?
Yeah.
But we focus on things that have no value. We focus on things that don't bring an added value to the community.
Yeah.
And we just gossip. I don't gossip. At times people call me and they can't even get me. I'm always into something. If I'm not, and I love to sleep because just as I work, I sleep. So when you see me in my club dancing, this COVID just has to go because I walk, I sleep, I dance. I have a balanced life. I tell
Mm-hmm.
God every morning when I'm up, I say, hey, I have another credit. So I have to make sure that I eat that my money well.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see the people I have been able to meet,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they have all gone and we
Yeah.
will all go. So honestly, Anu, this is the first time I'm actually talking about me this way. I've never hidden it, but I inspire people. That's why through my nonprofit, I decided to create a
Yeah.
Pan African
Yeah.
network. I
Mm-hmm.
have people in the 54 African states
Mm-hmm.
because I believe that we can share best practices, develop ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and then as I see, only God knows. I have been receiving awards. I don't even know. I didn't calculate.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I have had the Commonwealth Point of Light Award from Queen Elizabeth. That
Mm-hmm.
was signed by Her Majesty the Queen. I
Yes.
got the IATA High Flyer Award in South Korea in 2019 for starting my nonprofit organization that has been promoting aviation development in Africa.
Yeah.
I got um, I got the CEO award for Central Africa. I recently, my most recent award has been the contribution to the by the Nigerian Cameroon Trade and Tourism Forum that was held in 2016, where I was a volunteer. I got an award because we are into the facilitation and cooperation of intra-African trade, and
Mm-hmm.
so we want Africans to think as one. We want
Mm-hmm.
Africans to learn to know themselves. and I volunteered in this project, and now I got an award, a recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So this is to say, if you can use your time on quality matters, if you can use your time on, there's always joy and happiness. And as I still say, getting to know a new person every day is increasing your wealth, because as my dad said, when you meet someone,
That's
you
South Korea,
become
right?
richer.
Oh, is
Yes,
that a,
that's South Korea. I was on a panel talking to 1,000 bosses of the world's aviation and tourism industry. But
yes?
I'm your classmate, Anu.
I know. Am I not lucky?
So this is this is to say, we have to know that we all have the strength. If you want to become who you want, you should have someone who can inspire you. And
Yes.
don't be ashamed. Until today, I still ask questions. When someone knows something I don't know, I ask
Mm-hmm.
to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Learning is not just getting a degree.
Mm-hmm.
There are things, if you don't know in society, just ask. And you learn more when you ask.
Mm-hmm.
The more you ask, the more you learn. Because
Mm-hmm.
you know, as I say, nothing from birth would have given me the opportunity to be where I have reached. Nothing.
No, nobody
Yes,
looking at that black Tupuri baby would think
yes,
that
nobody.
she would be where she is today.
You
Nobody.
know, I was the rejected one, the wanted
Yeah.
one. Even in school, for those
Yeah.
who don't know, I was darker than today. So when I got to seat of wisdom, my dear brothers and sisters of my batch gave me a name, Umbra. You
Oh,
know, the
yes.
first class that we had, they said Umbra Penumbra, and my own nickname that came up was Umbra.
Do
But
you know
we
Maggie?
were
Maggie
all
wrote it
kids.
in the comments. Maggie wrote it in the comments. She said, "Hi, Umbra."
But for me, we were all kids, and they did not know my history. This
Yes,
was already giving me
that's it.
another discrimination, but I
That
took
we
it
didn't even know.
positively. Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't know. That's why I say society can destroy without knowing that they're actually destroying, because they didn't know my story. They didn't know that I didn't have a dad and a mom like most of them had. They didn't know my struggles. They
Mm-mm.
didn't even know that in primary school I spent most of my nights sleeping in the hospital with my mom and
Yeah.
my sister,
Yeah.
taking care of my mom, going back, preparing, going to school, coming back. They didn't know that at all. But I came up to say, oh no, why Umbra? Saint Umbra. And people started saying Saint Umbra. And then I don't know what
There we
happened
are.
again. I got another. Yeah, there we are.
I'm trying to look for you. There is
There we
Fadi.
are. There we are in 1996.
Yes.
And if you can see me, you will see Anu
No,
is the first one.
no, the chubby little girl on there. You look so different because you're
Yes.
always so chubby. Yes, yes.
Yeah, because I mean, I was the best friend of all the cooks. I was the one who never had a pocket allowance in boarding school. So I always made sure I ate my achombo, my beans, my cocoyam. So I only depended on that school food.
No, that you were so
So,
close to Mommy Madden.
oh yes, Mami Alice, Mami Ma, and that is us during our baptism.
Yes.
I know you have great memories,
I
and I
love
must
to.
admit, my,
I cherish these memories, honestly. That's awesome.
yes,
So that's how the
that's
black little girl next to the priest.
yes, and you see Gabriel that we lost,
Yes.
and he happened to go on my daughter's birthday. So every time I have a divided feeling on celebrating her birthday and knowing that Gabriel, who was the youngest among us, left us on that day. So
One of the smartest too.
yeah, that so this is just to say that life is not easy. And if you remain focused, if you try to just be in a positive environment, and there is no problem, I say, and I want to stress on it, always think of Rwanda. Don't waste time. Don't waste valuable time you would have had to laugh and share with people because you have a grudge, or you're not happy, you're jealous. No, all these vices, as we used to say in school when we were reading our Bibles, God did not put them aside because he hated us.
Mhm.
Actually, God has loved us so much and has given us all his rules to make us happy. But we are the
Yeah.
ones who unfortunately refuse to
Mhm.
be happy. So I'm a happy person. It doesn't
Mhm.
mean I don't have problems. Every blessed day, as I solve one, I have a next one. But
Mhm.
just the fact that I have mentally integrated the fact that life will always come with problems and happiness. You need to always find your balance. That sometimes you need to pull off to regain the energy to come back and face life.
Mhm.
But you should never give up. In Seat of Wisdom, we had our famous song every morning, and I think those who, all the Swazans know that. But that also has been in my mind. Forward, ever, ever.
Wow, we can't sing.
Backward, never, never.
Never.
So every time I am stuck, this comes back in my mind, and I'm like, forward, ever, backward, never. And that is how our alma mater Seed of Wisdom has actually, brought in this trend. And I have taken everything positive and still take everything that is positive to try to be who I am without forgetting where I come from.
Yeah, yeah. Why am I feeling like what? Oh,
I don't
I
know.
don't know. I'm
Is
tearing.
anyone, are people having questions? I don't know.
I don't know why that made me want to cry.
I know
But
this is 30 years,
yeah,
30 years ago, no one would have known that we would have been talking today to people. We didn't even back then imagine that we will have mobile phones and internet. And this is us today talking to people that we don't even see, or so that's life. And we have to make sure that we just leave our legacy. And
yeah,
when you think about giving back, because my nonprofit, when I started it, I remember I have a friend who told me, "You are not rich. Why do you think you have to create a nonprofit?"
yeah. And I remember when you did this for the
Yes,
yeah,
yes. When COVID started, I had to learn sewing myself, get people sew and go and distribute to the underprivileged communities. You
yeah.
don't need to have much to give.
Hmm.
Because when you count those who spend a lot of money on fancy bags, believe me, if we want our communities to become the best communities, we have to invest on them. When I try to see how kids in the far north region where I come from, because I was raised by my mom, I
Yeah.
didn't have a view of what was happening out there. But when I had the nonprofit, I said, oh, these kids in the rural area will definitely need inspiration, orientation. I need to make sure I work with them.
I
When I
remember
received
when you went to build the school. Remember? Your village.
when I saw the first pictures on how these kids were sitting on the floor,
Yeah, of course.
I cried. And the very first house that I've ever built and put a ceiling has been a classroom. And I had to empower the youth of that village to tell them that no one will come to improve on their buildings if they don't use the local materials that they have to build for themselves.
Yeah,
And this is vital. Whatever you learn, if you come back to your community and try to just share the idea and get them, that's how you will make them improve their own environment.
yeah.
So today I work as I have started my company because I decided 2 years ago to go into entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, I'm hit by COVID, but I haven't given up. Everyone knows me. I created AFA Group, which is a small enterprise specialized in aviation consultancy, representation, corporate events, and tool management because I'm into the promotion of business tourism and
Hmm.
technology. Unfortunately, with COVID, we had flight restrictions. That didn't stop me. And what you don't know yet, Anara, I want to tell you, Anu, is I had the privilege because I'm into the promotion of Made in Africa brands,
Hmm.
because if today I have a visibility, I want it to serve for a purpose of those who think they don't have a voice.
Yeah,
So if anyone here has been doing something good or has a product or something that he will want to let the world know about it, feel free. I have a network that I have inherited, and I want it to serve the purpose of people meeting people so that they can also be able to become what they want.
yeah,
And so I had the privilege to get the representation for Central Africa of the Innoson manufacturing cars. So today I'm informing you and everyone joining us that I will be representing Nigeria made cars, made in Nigeria cars. So, and in such initiatives, we have to promote made in Africa products and consume ourselves. So you will be seeing, for those who are on social media with me, launching promotion on these cars, because I believe that what has been ongoing has been a good thing, and it's cooperation. I'm not saying we should not collaborate with Europe, US, Asia, or Australia. No, I tell them each time I'm on a panel that we need to have a share of knowledge. It's time we
Mhm.
work hand in hand to share the best practices, because today we know that we have to do things and our youths need to work on the continent. We don't
Yeah,
want to have more people dying because they want to cross to go bush, as they say, or abroad. We have everything here. So
yeah,
we just have to find the strategies of cooperation and collaboration to ensure that we build our own continent. And then, as we say, I remember 2000, Anu, they were telling us, oh, by 2000, the world will be global. They were giving
hmm,
us definition of global world. So
hmm,
if we are a global world, we are talking about global warming, that if we don't take care, the whole world will disappear. So we have to equilibrate. Now, let's change our mindset. Let's learn to trust and work hand in hand for the
yeah.
development of things. And it will go from our mental health. We will learn to become better people. We will learn to be sure that, and this, if we want, we can do it.
Yeah, of course. You have done
Capacity
it.
that the human being has is to be able to move from one point to the next level without hurting anyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I see the comment. You remember when we were launching our initial activities with YAAPA, we went to do a donation to the Muslim community in Douala.
Mm-hmm.
I did that with your mom with the
Yeah.
Mwanya Foundation,
Yeah, yeah.
because they do support, they support the widows and the orphans. And you won't believe, Anu, I was on drip for my malaria in the hospital. I had to finish my drip because I did not want to cancel that event to go and work with mommy for that event.
No, but I know your
So
work ethics. I think something you have going for you is a really great work. You have very great work, not just good, great work ethics. I know where you put your mind, because I remember I spent 2 nights with you when you were still working on YAPA, the documents, and you would wake
yes,
at 3 o'clock in the morning and you will work all day. I'm like, Fadi, what is this thing? And you were trying to share me the vision. But you know me now, my head was, I'm like,
you know,
okay, I'm only here to support. Good luck. But I like you will, when you have a vision, you bring it to life. And not to cut you short, when you finish, I want to ask you about something. Yeah, go, just finish that and I'll ask you.
no, what you say is true. I mean, today, for the past 2 days, I've been working on doing my website for my new company, which is,
Mm-hmm.
for those who are on internet, you can type www.fatmas, which is FADMASPLC.com. And
Okay.
I did the website in 2 days. So I relate when you say that when I have something in my mind, until I get it done, I don't sleep.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people, that if you imagine the time you take to talk about someone, PLC,
PL. Okay.
fatmasplc.com. And that's why I say, if you take time, each time you want to talk with someone, always ask yourself, what added value is this conversation going to bring to that person?
Mm-hmm.
Because you could be cheering up the person, you could be motivating or supporting the person, or what value added could it bring to you? Because the truth is, today we are talking about terrorism that's destroying our family. I feel for the northwest and southwest, which is where I actually belong, even though my parents are from the west and the far north. It's sad to see what's ongoing there, but you will be surprised to see that um, the first terrorist is our tongue. Once you start to excite two people on she said, he said, that's the beginning of something that can become uncontrollable and destroy more than build. So each time you want to pick up your phone now and talk about something someone did to you, just remember that that same time could be the precious time that you can relate with someone to say, oh, by the way, how do you do this and that thing that can improve your life or support somebody else's life?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, as I still say, we will all die, and I know, I lost Anthony, who was my baby,
Your
and
baby.
losing a child of 22 years old who was full of everything, passion. He had a bright future ahead of him, but it's no more. I mean, who am I? So a mixture of these live experiences is the first thing that everyone should take into consideration. No one's going to be here for eternity, but if we come together and try to accept ourselves with our differences,
Yeah.
respect one another,
Yeah.
I think have more tolerance. I think we can go further and get more impact. You know what I'm doing, I'm happy with what I do, but if I have 10 other volunteers who come up, we will be doing the same thing 10 times more, you know. So
Yeah.
this is just my message to everyone. And please, the world is being destroyed by violence. And as I say, violence is not only physical, it is mental, you know. Someone comes up with a project, and instead of supporting, if you can't support, keep quiet, you know.
Yeah.
If you can't support someone who has an idea, shut up. Because a lot of people don't know that for someone to come with a project or an idea or a query or something just to ask for advice, the person has taken on himself or herself to bring it out. So
Yeah.
your approach to it can frustrate the person. So if you think you can contribute, don't be rude, don't be harsh.
And if you don't understand it,
If you
because
don't
some
understand it,
people
ask
may not understand it.
questions.
Yeah.
Yes. And keep it to yourself. Don't also go and do what the Ivorian sang and say, pardon, faut pas dire à quelqu'un, ce soir, lenge, oh, ce soir. Pardon, faut pas dire à quelqu'un. And then you
Mhm.
go to the main compound and call everybody and say, by the way,
Mhm.
Fadi told me that, but don't tell anybody.
Anybody.
So yes, so there is this story, you know, which is actually true because people forget that
Mhm.
you are the closest person who destroys the person near you. So you have to be sensitive about that. I'm sure
Yeah.
that most of my friends who've known me for 30 years, the the proud 26th batch of Our Ladies of Wisdom College for them, many are discovering me differently. Just a
Oh
few,
yes. Oh, you should see it in the
just a
comments.
few, just a few.
Yeah.
Yes, just a few knew about me, really,
Yeah.
what I was going through, but that has never ever been a problem for me. It has forged my character. Most of you know that when I say it's my no, it's my no. I don't come on it.
Yeah.
But all of you know you can always, always, always count on me. And I've always had ideas that will involve community, even though some have thought that I was just trying to be pompous, as they say locally. No, it's because I know the impact that if we stand together to try to give back, it will be us doing it. But unfortunately, nature has not given everyone the same life path. And
Yeah.
my own experience, my own life story is what inspires me first, and my dad also is an inspiration because he wasn't the son of a billionaire. He wasn't the son of Dangote. No. My grandmom, his mother, actually did fishing in Logon and Shari. But to see what he has become to be a person in the world,
Yeah. And
just
her.
that, yeah, just that gives me the drive every blessed day to
Mhm.
move forward, you know, to say I have to be like him.
Mhm.
And the rest, as I say, society decided that you have to have your father's name or
Mhm.
this. So I say at times to people that I'm the proud bastard of my parents because I know they are proud of me. And definitely God had a plan the day he made them meet and the day they decided that he decided that I was to be born. So to the men, my classmates, I hope you are not in that situation because society society makes men abandon their children because they are married, you know. You should stand up for who you are. If you are in a relationship and you happen to have a parallel relationship and have a child, please, that child is not responsible of your act. Give the opportunity of that child to be the child that did not ask to be born. Because I will want everyone listening to us today to say that each time they will try to hide a child, they will be hiding a faddy. Because luckily I wasn't hidden. Just imagine if I was a hidden child.
What happened?
I'm known to the world, you know?
Yeah.
So don't hide your child. And to the women, if you are married to a man, because as I say, we have prototype relationships,
Yeah.
no one is perfect. At times, we are the ones who push our husbands to the wall, you know? because we are too demanding. We dream, we have our dream life of how we want that marriage to be. No, I have told you, relationships and marriage is a day-to-day signature of contract. You have to get up every morning looking at the mood. Someone might sleep at night and not sleep well, have bad dreams, you will not expect him to get up in the morning and start smiling at you when all through his night he was running in his dream. Yes.
I
So
get you.
that's the moment you will come and say, and that my money you said you were going to, and that's how you have to ensure that you can read your partner from your bed. You have to give yourself the word to say, I will make my home a peaceful home. And then I give you authority. When I
Mm-hmm.
say you should avoid those negative people,
Mm-hmm.
this, if there are parents listening to us here now, let them hear this message very well. You think at times that by involving yourself in your children's relationships, you're helping them because you think you know what is so good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Take my life as an example. If my mom's parents automatically wanted her to be legally married in a home, I'm not sure she would have had me. She would not have had me,
Mm-hmm.
first. Secondly, when you think you're protecting your son because he's not the ideal wife, be
Mm-hmm.
rest assured you are destroying your son's life because that was his choice you are not respecting. And by the way, why will you try to live your child's life by procuration? You have your own life and there is no age limit. Even if you're 71 and you want to meet your own 71 or 72, or even your youngster, you you are free. You are free to play your life. There is no age. There is no rule to be happy. There is no formula. Be it young, old, tall, short, there is no formula. Just remember, you have one life. Because our African tradition and
Sure.
family come and
That
spoil
is so.
environment, and that's how frustration starts.
Oh
So
gosh,
these
I have.
women, be nice to their husbands. If go and look, they might be having their own fadi somewhere, and you don't know. So don't.
I shouldn't laugh, but I get
Yes,
it. I shouldn't laugh. Mm-hmm.
yes. No, you should laugh because what I'm saying is, I'm a proud bastard who didn't ask to be born, but today I can help whoever meets my way.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
simple rule of life, it doesn't matter how you come on earth.
Yeah.
Every human being must come on earth through a human being.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, as I tell some parents, you cannot control your child's heart. Your child is totally an independent person. The
Yeah.
person, you are only a catalyst for that other being to come on earth. And until we stick that into our heads, we will still be quarreling with our children because you find families where the wife quarrels the husband quarrels the wife, and then they quarrel the children. At the end of the day, why are you a family?
Yeah.
You can disagree, but you will always, as my sister and myself say, we can fight, and but nobody should enter in our fight. And the next minute you see us sitting and laughing and chatting because we know where we come from and we know
Mm-hmm.
what we want from life.
Mm-hmm. Fadi,
So do you have questions, Anu?
how can we have questions? We just have the, oh my God, this girl is amazing. But that's all in the comment. You're going to read it later. That's all is in the comment. But there is something I want to take you back to because I really want people to see opportunity when there's no opportunity. I remember when you were at Kameko, right? When you started Kameko,
Yes,
remember you're one of the first people that started Kameko.
I was the
And
first female senior staff of Kameko.
you were the first female senior staff of Kameko. See, I'm your sister. I don't even remember, but I know that you were one of the very first people. I remember your office. But what I want to say is, wow, Fadi, we've come a long way, you know. But anyway,
20
story
years.
time, Fadi. But what I want to say is, when you went to Kameko as a senior staff, but you saw the opportunity and created YAAPA that took you all across the world. I want you to, for people who feel like they are stuck or they are in a job where they don't see opportunity, because it was not as if there was opportunity given to you. You sought the opportunity out. What was your process? What were you thinking? How do you always what's your process really when you make magic out of thin air?
Now, I am a go-getter.
Mm-hmm,
Nothing is impossible for me. You all relate. In school, I will always look for the solution to solve my mathematics and everything.
mm-hmm,
Life, I apply my further maths or my maths into life.
Mm-hmm.
There is no problem that does not have a solution. You know, as I told you, I took my own experience. And as I see, say, if you are true to yourself, your experience is actually your wealth. I saw myself in Chang, government bilingual primary school. We had no helicopter, no airport, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to City of Wisdom Fontaine, where when we were lucky, we had a pickup on which we could hang on top to go to Fontaine. Then
Mm-hmm.
I went to Nyasoso, where I had all the old Land Rovers from Germany packed there, where you could sit on bamboo chairs to go. Where would I have thought about careers at the
Exactly.
airport? Where would I have even imagined aeroplane? But what is strange enough is my mom's brother, who raised my mom, was actually the first military medical doctor pilot in the Air Force. The name I have, Ghislaine, is actually his wife, Colonel Kamdum.
Oh, Kamdum, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, but I don't understand why I could not relate to even see that as an inspiration. So
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself, and that's why I say when you are positive, your positivity will always bring you good products. I
And
just want,
strict, because if
yes,
there's anything you ask Fadi, you are very strict.
you
Very
have to be you
you're
have to be disciplined.
Yeah, you are. And so I'm just saying, for people who really want to work with you, should know that you a woman who is disciplined. If she says does this here one two and you fail, she's out of it like that. So you, yeah,
As
yeah,
I say, time is precious. I
yeah,
don't know when I'm going to leave for the world. I don't waste my time.
yeah.
If you want to work and volunteer, and as I tell people, I don't lie to people. I don't give you fake promises. Today, a non-profit organization has taken me around the world
Yeah.
because I thought of inspiring the next generation of African aviation, tourism, and hospitality professionals. Because
Mm-hmm,
these are the future industries that people in Africa need to develop
mm-hmm,
and get used to it themselves and use it themselves.
mm-hmm,
So I just decided to create a platform which is simple. And I call all the professionals here to do the same. A
mm-hmm,
lot of people don't go into banking because they know exactly what banking is or
mm-hmm,
logistics. So why don't we decide to create platforms where we can invite our professionals to exchange with the young people, to give them inspiration, to orientate them? Because I wanted to be a doctor because in my family, my grandfather was doctor, people were nurses, dentists, and everything. So I was limited to that. But the world has a lot of opportunities today.
mm-hmm.
And with social media today, as I tell the young ones when I go to their schools, I tell them when you go on Facebook, stop sharing gossips. Go on free courses, on free meet forums, get to hear what people have to say. That's how I use my time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I have a lot of people who follow what I do, and a lot of people who have even picked up from what I do. Today, you have many more organizations promoting aviation in Africa. That is those are the fruits that I reap to say whatever happens, you have young people getting to ask themselves, what is this? What is hospitality? What are the jobs? Imagine on an airport platform, you have almost 1,000 jobs. So if you have on an airport platform 1,000 jobs, why should young Africans be jobless?
Exactly.
Everyone goes and does banking and finance. Everybody goes. We should share our own experiences. What you're doing today.
That's not me,
Why
man.
don't you think?
We have to
Why
diversify.
we have to diversify? So those who are into journalism who feel they want to, why don't they go onto youth programs? They themselves can start initiating from school youth programs to share their challenges and invite professionals that we are to come and talk to them. You know, they are all forms of learning today. But you will see people sharing gossips and useless things instead of trying to ask themselves. And that's why I still come back to say, you are your wealth. There is no magic. There is no Gambe man. You don't have to belong to a cult. I don't belong to any cult. I don't belong to anything.
Yeah.
I have taken my own experience to build my own life. And as I still tell you, life is not easy.
Mm-mm.
So I have taken into consideration that problems in lives is just like blood and vein. You can never separate the blood with the vein. They will still be there. So when a problem comes, I don't just, it depends. Some I overreact, I get upset. Some I just sleep. Some I just take this decision and say, whatever the case, that's my decision, it's final. And I
Mm.
always tell people, a step in a wrong direction is always better than staying on the same spot all your life.
That's right, my friend and sister.
Yes,
Oh my God,
because
this is inspirational.
yes, people use societal rules, policies to get stuck and they don't enjoy their lives. And the
Mm-mm.
day they die, people come and celebrate and they start to mourn and cry. No. For those who know me, please keep it as information. If I die today, you will just be informed. There will be no way keeping, no courtesy viewing. No. I tell people enjoy me now. Because the day I'm gone. Period. You won't see me again. So people, I try to use my time as much as I can and I make myself comfortable. I will take you a little bit to the Bible. There is one, our Father is a prayer that I don't only pray for praying sake. There is one thing I try all the time to put in practice. When they say, forgive us our sins as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. We recite this every day, but we have grudges with people, we query people, we gossip people. So at the end, I say, but Jesus said, love your neighbor and we'll finish it
As
as
yourself.
yourself. Yes. So what did he say? Love your neighbor as
As yourself.
yourself, which means that you have to learn to love yourself. So I tell people that the day I heard this and understood it, I am in the process of loving myself. And loving myself is I don't have to hurt myself. So anything that can hurt me, be it relationship, be it job, be it what. I've had jobs and you know in multinationals where one morning with all what I had, I resigned.
Yourself.
I will not compromise myself on getting some useless stress in the name of money. I am impressing nobody. So
Mm,
even tomorrow, if I don't have a car, it's me. I have a car, it's me. I have a bike, it's me. So I live this full life and have no stress just because I'm trying to please myself. I
mhm.
should love myself. So you
Yeah.
cannot love yourself by hurting yourself. So I
No.
will invite everyone, please love your neighbor as yourself. It's not just prayer you recite. No. When you decide to love yourself, everything that can hurt you, destroy you, you put aside.
True.
Then you will be able to love your neighbor.
That's
You
so.
cannot love your neighbor more than yourself. So that's my policy today.
Not anything to add. Your wisdom so much, Fadi. This is quality of life. Do you know we talk all the time? You always advise me and stuff, but like listening to you on this platform, I'm so glad that the rest of the world gets to experience my friend. Do you understand? Like you're so wise, so wise.
But it comes from my experience, which is
Of
unique.
course, yeah,
And that's why I say everybody's wealth. Some people at times are ashamed of their stories. I'm
yeah.
very proud of mine. It has made me become who I am.
I'm so glad.
And, and when I got my award in Seoul, I will tell you, I told them the same story about my mother. And I told them, you have in front of you a lady who no one could believe could do anything.
Yeah,
And this is me talking to the world
I know.
about Africa,
I'm being
promoting
interviewed
Africa.
by Quest. Is it Richard Quest at CNN? My sister,
Yes, okay.
although, although yeah,
I'm being interviewed by you today.
you know, I've
Of
made it.
course. We made it. We made it.
We
And
made it,
I mean,
sis. We made
30
it.
years
Yes,
ago, 30
we made
years ago, we will we could never predict how our lives were going to be.
it.
And
No,
I will want to tell our classmates who are listening today,
they're all here.
we have we are a family, you know. The differences that someone to bring, our pride can only be if we work as a family.
Mm-hmm,
As I told you, my wealth are the people, and you are my wealth. And
mm-hmm,
as I say, not everybody has to like you the way you they think they should like them, but
mm-hmm.
I love you because we share a story.
Yeah.
What we can say today is not someone who just met me will not know that. But when I speak, you can relate. And in Douala, there is not an event that I will do without having Tazo Paul Dobigang, Paolo, who
Mm-hmm.
will always come with Julius. and Clarence, Benang. And each time we have, we try as much as we can. We call chief. We have a chief in our class.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine what we have been capable of doing, and unfortunately losing two of our mates. I think we can go further if we try to unite and support ourselves instead of that is
There
just
we
imagine
are.
all what we are. There we are. There we
Mm-hmm.
are. 30 years ago, we didn't, this is 25 years ago. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't imagine we were going to be where we are today.
Mm-mm.
So for those who are into business, and before you close, I've launched a program that you will need to support me with that I call the Business Globetrotter, because a lot of people have been into business and they don't know how to market and sell. So I want to give, it's non-profit. You don't pay to be part of it. It's just a network where people can relate and find matches. You are special, you have a specialty, and you will need to find a specialty or develop in another African country. It's my belief that if we can go beyond our boundaries, we will see that there is no need to compete in a ground where the continent still needs us. So through the Business Globetrotter, I actually want to relate business people so that they can, with regards to their respective fields, discuss, exchange, see how they can collaborate and partner and exchange best practices.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely.
How do they contact you, Fadi? Cameroon, not now. Cameroon, behave. Internet, prayer warriors, do your bit. mm, and let's wait for her. My God, isn't Fadi amazing? Do you guys know the best part about all of this? I'm waiting for her to come back. She's like, and I'm your classmate. And a couple of you repeated that in the comments. She's my classmate. She's dying with presidents, and I'm still here. You guys, if you know any presidents, please invite to this show so that we can grow, so that we need to grow this platform. Honestly, these are the kind of conversations that I want us to have on this platform. So if you know people who are in your circle who have this much wealth of information to share with us, to inspire us, to motivate us, please, please, please recommend them to me. Obviously, in short, I beg you guys, we need this kind of conversations. We really need people with this kind of mentality within our community for us all to grow. So if you know anybody that can, don't, it doesn't matter the level, just recommend them to me. And Fadi is back. You have to meet.
Yes, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Apology. So I know. I think if people have questions,
Yes.
I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. Feel free to contact me. I mean, I'm very digital, so I have a WhatsApp. You can feel free to write to me, and if you have questions, if you have concerns, because I'm a Pan-African, so we try to impact positively as much as we can, but taking
Mm-hmm.
a focus on our communities, and then
Mm-hmm.
bring those who think that they do something and that it's not known. So it's our role and responsibility to ensure that we do things to support, and as I said, we leave our own legacy.
Yeah, yeah. So Fadi, Rachel is asking you, how do we connect with her on the entrepreneurial incentive she mentioned, please?
I can give you my WhatsApp number.
Or actually, guys, that's on the banner that's scrolling at the bottom. That's her Facebook and LinkedIn um, name. So if you can just send her a friend request, or and then you guys take it off from there, right, Fadi?
Yeah, yeah, and if you want, I mean, I have a WhatsApp that is open.
Oh,
So
okay. Do you want to
yeah,
give
so it's +237
+237? Yeah,
670
670
89
89
74
74
08.
08. Okay.
Yes.
So send her a WhatsApp. Save that number if you want to get in contact with Fadi, and Send her a message. Honestly, my sister, I don't even know what to say, Fadi. But guys, any final questions before I let her go? We've been here for an hour and a half. I did tell you that an hour and a half because I knew that you had so much to share. So but if there are no final questions, you go back. The comments are plenty. Everyone's proud of you. So proud of you. I love it's all love, 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 love. Like, I can't read all of it. Um, I like her strength. Uh, you cannot give what you don't have. I don't. If anybody asks a question, I really didn't see questions. I just saw people concurring what you were saying. So
Yeah. So just one remark. Um, unfortunately, I have 5,000
Fadi is gone again. We need such people, more people with such a mindset. Continue to spread the word. The law of attraction is real. You've used it so well to get to where you are today. That's beautiful. She really is a go-getter. Words of wisdom. We're just gonna wait for Fadi to come back and say one final. Thanks, Fadi, for talking to fellow women as yourself. I know you've seen it all. You're a good teacher. That's nice. People are having private conversations here. Questions have evaporated. She got on all I wanted. Oh, that's great. So this has been a really good show then. Wow. Anyway, Fadi, come say
Yes,
goodbye.
yes.
I,
So I was saying that unfortunately, if I don't accept friendship on Facebook, it's because I have 5,000, I can't get more.
Mhm,
But I just created a page so that you can follow up what I do. I'm very entrepreneurial. I do many things. So don't be afraid. As I said, it's not, some people say to discourage me, oh, you're doing everything. No, I keep myself positively busy. And I'll tell each and everyone that it was a great pleasure. I hope that my story will inspire you. And don't forget, your roots, where you come from, is actually your foundation. Once you're proud of who you are, where you come from, you can reach wherever you want. And only your discipline will make you reach where you want to reach. And with this said, as I said, don't forget to be positive, forgive more, be proud of yourself. More importantly, love yourself. If
yes.
anybody want make you, this is the pidgin language I'm using, feel you are not good enough.
Mm-hmm. Eh, eh, come on, internet. Oh, guys. Wow, it's been a beautiful show. I'm just reading all your comments. How were you able to resign when you didn't have another job? I was with you, but till today I don't understand. I know, right? I hope she can come back and answer that question. But you know, Fadi, if it's not working, Fadi doesn't push it. She moves on to the next thing. Gosh, I hope she can come back because I don't want to dilute it with my jokes. I just want the conversation to stay with that energy, that positivity. Fadi, there's a question before you go. How were you able to just resign when you didn't have another job? That's from T. We can't hear you. You're muted.
Hello T, all the way to say lots of love.
From Ka.
As yeah, actually, as I say, it depends on your mental state. And there is always a sentence I say to myself every morning. Just as you can go to work and get fired, you can as well resign. So I don't take anything from for I don't take everything for granted, and I don't take everything as being acquired,
Mm-hmm,
once something doesn't belong to you, you never know. Life is so unpredictable. So it's always at the back of my mind. If I'm going to work, just as I can be fired, because it can happen, I can as well resign. So that is what gives me the drive to be able to resign even if I don't have another job. Because as I say, I do micro entrepreneurship,
mm-hmm,
selling bananas. The way I will build up the strategy of selling the same bananas that lady is selling by the roadside, it will
mm-hmm,
generate revenue. So that has kept me to always think about entrepreneurship, because at the end of the day, I told you, I used to buy clothes. I will buy shirts in Douala, and sell in Yaoundé. And then I grew up my market to become a wholesaler. I would get and not do this retail. So there are a lot of strategies. And when you look Cameroon being so dynamic, there is
Yeah.
no, I told you I have call box, you know, you have
I
like four
know.
or five guys who are doing your call box. So these are things I've tried. I've had small stores, you know, you have it, the guy eats your money, he goes, you open small bar here. So I always have a plan B because life is uncertain and you never know what can happen. You can even have a well-paid job in a nice country and then war tomorrow. What do you do? So, and then as I say, when somebody is abusing you, we have bosses who morally, mentally abuse you. You have a choice either to get the money you will earn and go and treat yourself without enjoying, or lose that job, do your small petty job to earn, put food on your table, and then rebound. So, my
Yeah.
strength has always been the belief on me. I am the only person I trust, and
You
I
bet
know
on
that
yourself.
whatever happens, I bet in myself.
Yeah, that's good. I like that, Fadi. And I mean, I've always liked that about you, but I mean, yeah, thank you. I really like that you always bet on yourself. And I think that's what I'm learning to do for myself. Just because if you love yourself more, like you said, you will learn to trust what you're capable of. And so you will be able to bet on yourself. And if you can bet on yourself, it's like the law of attraction. Others will see that confidence you have in yourself and bet on you.
The only person I trust in life is myself. So I'm confident even when I'm making a mistake. So, and then the other thing is I stand for what I do. When I
Hmm.
make a mistake, I acknowledge my error. And if I do, if I, you know, as I said, love your neighbor as yourself. So I'm in the process of learning to love myself.
Yep.
So I trust myself. I have to learn to trust myself. I have to depend on myself because I'm the only one who can take myself from anywhere. When you are
Yeah.
mentally trapped, no matter the love everybody can give you outside, if you
You
remain
won't,
trapped within your head, nothing will happen.
you
And I will
won't
seize
follow.
this opportunity before saying goodbye. Maria Angel, what you're doing is great because you're actually, that's a way of healing. That's a way of making people go beyond the norms. People will criticize, let them criticize. So far as you're happy in what you're doing, like I'm happy, so far as you love yourself as I love myself, then we will be able to love other people.
My Angel has gone to sleep, but I'm sure she'll see this. She sent a message saying she's going to sleep now. But yeah, but I'm sure she'll watch this. That's Miss Mag for those who know her on Facebook as Mag, because she shares every aspect of her life, you know. Yeah. So thank you so much,
Thank
Fati.
you.
I don't even know. I don't want you to go, but I know you're tired as well, and that this show has to come to an end. But guys, any final questions or any last comments before Fadi goes? Oh my gosh! And by the way, how is Estelle? How is she doing in Canada?
Well, she's doing good. She's my shareholder in my company, AFAB Group. So she knows she already has a responsibility.
That
She's
is so
17 years old, my shareholder, my accountant. So she studies and she puts into practice what she's studying. So
and
that's my way
you
of
raised
training her.
you raised a beautiful, beautiful young girl. Beautiful girl.
Thank
You should
you.
be so
Thank
proud.
you.
And yeah, you really should be. You've done so well in that area. You raised a really beautiful young woman in every way. I'm not talking physically, you know what I mean? Yeah.
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 And then, as I say, I divorced, yes, but I still hope to remarry. And even if it doesn't work, I will still divorce and remarry. Not that I'm stubborn, I'm just to say if anybody is in the situation where they haven't been successful in a relationship, you have two approaches. Either you try to make sure, um, either you have to make sure that you rebuild your relationship and trust, or you move out and you get another opportunity. You should just think about loving yourself. By loving yourself, you will better know how to love the other person. We need more happy homes. We need more happy families. We need more, because that's the legacy we're going to give to our kids. And we need to sacrifice for prosperity. I'm sure my parents are proud of me because I could have taken the short run. I could have gone to follow men to say I want an easy life. I could have taken the insult from society and say, oh, I curse myself and say bad luck. Bad luck doesn't exist.
Love
Whenever you go at
what
the
you're doing.
end, yes, it's at the end of being desperate that you get hope. Because when you're desperate, that's where your creativity and your imagination gives you a new direction. In French, it is said, c'est au bout du désespoir qu'on retrouve l'espoir. So it's at the end of being desperate that you find hope. So don't forget that. If you're going right now through a difficult situation where you don't know you do, if you have a debt, let me give you one secret from my late father-in-law, Papa Henri Joaka. He told me a story and said there was a man who borrowed money from someone. And the day he was supposed to refund that money, he did not have it. So the day before, he sat and his head was, what will I do? And his wife was, what is going on? And he's like, I have to give this money. And the wife said, okay, you know what? She took the phone, called the person and said, listen, my husband is supposed to pay you money tomorrow. He does not have. So don't expect that money tomorrow. When he will have, he will come. Good night. She turned and told the husband, now sleep. And the husband said, but what have you done? And she said, no, I have removed your pressure and sent back to the person. Because you don't have you don't have the money to pay. And you are stressing yourself to death. At the end of the day, you have to choose one. Either you tell the person the truth and then he finds another solution. Because if you tell him I cannot pay, he has an option. Either he takes you to police, even at police, you will still stay, you cannot pay, and you will engage to repay when you will have. What else will he do? So people at times just become prisoners of their worries. You should not become a prisoner of your worry. You don't have money, you start to stress all around. How will I survive? How will I survive? Instead of stressing, how will I survive? Sit down and think, how can I generate a solution that will take me out of my problem? That's why I say you trust yourself and nobody else. Who can be a best advisor on understanding your situation than yourself?
True.
So what I do at times to get other people's opinion, and this is something I do once in a while, when my head is overthinking, I take a taxi with a taxi driver that I don't know, and then I expose my problem to him because he doesn't know me, so he will not give me his own opinion with jealousy or no.
Yeah.
And I say, my brother, tell me this kind of a thing. If you are with this situation, how can you handle it? When he will give me his vision, he will give me an idea that will spark my own idea. And I will pay him when I'm off the taxi, but I've spoken to somebody.
Therapy. You've just got yourself some therapy. That's
So
right.
at the end of the day, oh, when it's hard, I go to this my market. I have some my friends who sell arrow. By the time I buy my arrow and we are eating and I'm sitting behind them and they are selling their things, I experience what they experience. And I realized that the complaint I thought I was having is not even a complaint because the person sitting here is worse than me if I was to look my own situation. So that my case is not a case. So at the end of the day, everybody has all the solutions, but we just get blindfolded with what society tries to put us into. So try to break the norms. And I think you have to reschedule another show.
Maybe. I'm sure I will have to agree. Honestly,
I
this
saw
is
someone say, I saw someone say you have the next title of your movie. You have to
that's
tell them
yeah.
that you've been trying to make a movie since
I know, right?
17 years. I think when I got married, right?
Yeah.
So we definitely got get there. So
We'll make it. Yeah.
you started with the show, and we'll definitely work on it.
Yeah.
And if there is any editor, because I want to write a book, but I don't know how to start. So if there is anybody who is willing to assist me on writing my book, I will be very grateful.
Yeah. There are a few girls in the comments who have written books. Brigitte is here. I think Dr. Tisi, have you written a book? So there are a few ladies in the comments who have written books, so they should get in touch. But honestly, Fadi, honestly, you've been an amazing guest. Amazing. I mean, you like Sisi says here, you sure know that's by the way, that's Sisi Fomenki. So that's Sister Delphine Fomenki, Juliana's sister. You sure know how to add value. Fadimatou has nailed it. Amazing show, amazing. And I'm sure she speaks on behalf of us all that this has been great. I couldn't have asked for a better guest. I have 70 people live. I rarely ever get that high. So and it's been consistent for about 30 minutes. So that tells me everyone's getting value. And I do appreciate every single one of you who stayed to watch Fadi today. And if you enjoyed it as much as I did, which I'm sure you do, all you have to do is please share now. Like we've said, right, Fadi? Share the show. Please share.
We
And
will
subscribe.
definitely we will share.
Don't leave without subscribing
Subscribe.
on my YouTube channel. I beg, I beg. I
I
can't.
will
Just
count on me. You are the first in my business globetrotter bag. So we definitely get to take the Gority show high up.
we're going global. We're going
We
global.
are Switzerland.
I
Love to
appreciate
each and
you, my dear.
everyone and reach out. I mean, I'm very open. I have a lot to share and a lot to learn. So together we can like enjoy what life gives to us. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, and get in touch with that person. Leave a Vel. I can't. Summer. I can read Summer. Is in the
Yeah.
process of writing his book, so you know someone who can help you, or she knows someone who can help you. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Fadi, I'm going to send you backstage. You can leave. I'll call you on the phone, and we'll talk after this. Yeah, sis.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye.
Lovely. Thank you. Okay, do you know what? I feel like I shouldn't add much to that because I don't want to dilute it. I think we're still all on a high from all the wisdom that Fadimatou has imparted on us tonight, and I hope that you take it with you. And I mean, there's so many nuggets for me personally. So I hope you come back next week, Wednesday. No, sorry, we're taking a break. Gosh, we're taking a break, guys. We're taking a break, and we're back around the 14th of April. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel so you know when we are back. Please do subscribe to the YouTube. And if you know anybody that's as brilliant as Fadi, please recommend them to me so that let's have such conversations. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll leave you with, if you're in the UK, like we said, support, you know, we have to trust our businesses.
Everybody wants to find the perfect match for their financial needs. Secured savings, stress-free access to affordable loans, instant mobile money transfers to MTN and Orange Cameroon, and even a share in the profits as a member owner. For over 7 years, Rencam Credit Union has been the perfect match for Cameroonians living in the UK and other nationals with interest in the Cameroonian heritage. Visit rencam.co.uk. Join Rencam Credit Union today, achieving success together.
So let's achieve success together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on Wednesday, the 14th of April. Bye for now.